Robert. I'm the Fit Chick Cancer Thriver and the owner of Mosaic Fitness and Nutrition. So today I wanted to share my kitchen must-haves with you. So I always tell my clients, I am not Martha Stewart. In fact, if a recipe has 5 ingredients or less, I'm your girl usually. However, there are some staples that I always like to share with my clients that can be extremely helpful when you are kind of a quick chick in the kitchen. So I'm going to start with something that I use almost daily, and that would be my Vitamix. My Vitamix is probably one of my best purchases. I literally went to the state fair for about 2 years. I live in Texas, and I would watch the gentleman just stuff the blender with all types of fruits and vegetables. And I'm talking like spinach and kale and things that a lot of us maybe don't enjoy the taste of until we have it enough and then we really acquire it, or we get to the point where we're like, I really need to eat healthier. I'm going to start to add some of that in my diet. If you have children, this is one of the greatest things you can get because you're able to stick some of those vegetables that maybe they wouldn't eat at the table, even if they looked at it, but you can stick it in here with a smoothie. And you can put things like pineapples and grapes and sweeter fruits in there for your children so that you can get some of those healthy vitamins and nutrients in their diet on a regular basis. I use this all the time when my kids were little. And kind of stuck those vegetables in, snuck them in. So this is a really great option. The other thing with the Vitamix that's great is you can make things like soups. You can do those favorite sides like guacamole and hummus and salsa. I have a lot of those recipes under my Mosaic Nutrition playlist. You can take a look there. I also have some little videos on my Facebook page. So I really love the Vitamix. Now there are other brands that are high velocity blenders that some people really enjoy as well. I just prefer the Vitamix. But do your research, do your homework, see what's going to be the best option. Cleanup is easy, guys, super easy. I literally take some water underneath the sink, put a little bit of soap in there. You can stick it back on here, blend it up, and just let the suds fill this up and clean it that way, and then just rinse it out. You can do it like that. A lot of times I'll just stick it under there and I just clean it right away. And I mean, in and out the door, I would make the smoothies and then put it under there and then be on my way. So great purchase, okay? Another thing, we'll get to these smaller things last, a percolator. This reminds me of my grandma. Now I want you to understand, I had a Keurig, actually I still have a Keurig. I use it very rarely, but I do have one. And I used to have just the automatic drip coffee pot. And I just always felt like it looked dirty to me. I just could never, I could get it clean, I could use vinegar. But when I went through cancer in 2015, even though I had a lot of really non-toxic or toxic-free products in my household, some of the items that I didn't always look at were things like the coffee pot. I had a friend who was struggling with a mold exposure, and when I started to learn more about that, one of the purchases she had in her family was a stainless steel percolator, just the old school coffee percolator. So this is so great because it can fine tune the flavor of your coffee depending on what you want. It has a couple different pieces to it. You got your top, you got that little part here. You put your coffee inside here, and then there's just this little part that kind of, you just attach it. Super easy to clean out. You stick your water in here, you put your coffee in there, how much you want, and then press this down. And then you plug it in and it heats up. And the great thing is it stays warm without feeling like you're hearing that sizzling that you get with that automatic drip. But the thing about this that was important to me is that there's not toxins leaking, there's not necessarily mold growing like we were reading with the Keurig. So this is a great purchase, especially if you're somebody that enjoys a cup of coffee. get yourself a percolator. It's just a much healthier option. Okay, SKG juicer. I love my juicer. I had a juicer back in the 1990s, and I'll tell you what, it was a pain to clean, and I didn't want to do it. And I started getting into more smoothies, and there's definitely a difference between what you're getting from a smoothie, because you have a lot of fiber, which is great for your gut, helps to tone your colon. Think of toning your bicep, it tones your colon. Juicing, though, is really important during cancer and after cancer, because my cellular health obviously was in question. And one of the ways I attempted to heal myself was by purchasing a juicer. So I did some research. I checked SKJ, I checked the Breville. I decided to go with the SKG. And I really like this. It's really easy to clean. There's a couple different pieces to it. I have it all put together right now. Here's the little spout. It comes with these little containers. So your pulp comes out one side and then the juice comes out the other. It is really easy. It has a reverse button as well. So if things kind of get stuck in there a little bit, you can reverse it and then pull it back. What you want to look for in a juicer is something that it has a centrifugal, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, blade. You want to look for a slow masticating. That's actually going to help to slowly be able to break down the food and the fruit and the vegetables. And there's not a ton of, you get some pulp in here, which is really good, but you get a lot of juice. So that's the nice thing about the slow masticating. This has a large chute as well, so you don't get that where the pulp gets backed up and stuck. Sometimes the only time I have an issue with it is I think if I use a lot of kale or a lot of spinach. Sometimes I'll throw that in there, and it's just, there's kind of a fine tuning to it when you are juicing, that you want to make sure that you have, you know, some of your fruits and vegetables that are going to be more water-based, like say a cucumber. If you're going to use things like kale and spinach, you want to make sure that you have some of those watery vegetables, because that will help it slide through a lot better. So fine-tuning a juice is for another video, but I really love this one. It comes, there's a top piece that you can kind of press down on it. So that is an SKG juicer. And easy cleanup. It's not difficult to clean up. The only little part that, see, there's this here. I'll show you guys really quick. And then you got this, all these little parts. And they, you know what I love is there's these little dots here, and it just slides in and it tells you exactly how it's supposed to go. There's this little piece here that helps to crunch up everything. This is the only part, this little basket, that you have to really, get in there and scrub. I have, they give you something that looks like a little toothbrush, and you just scrub it. Easy, it's easy. Trust me, I wouldn't be using it if it wasn't easy. Again, not Martha Stewart. Okay, Instapot. If you guys don't know about the Instapot, this is super important. I'm gonna pull this over here so you guys can see. Now, some of you probably already have one. You know, it was the big craze back a few years ago. Best thing I bought, besides the Vitamix, I use this thing probably a couple times a week. It's a multifunctional cooker. If you don't know what it is, you can do anything from pressure cooking. It's a slow cooker, a sterilizer, an egg cooker, a rice cooker. If you make yogurt, you can make yogurt in here. You can saute or brown items in here. It's a warmer, so if you want to put something in there like your soup for later or chili, and you want to get it for later, it's a steamer. And those of you moms out there, it's also a sterilizer. So it has all these different buttons on there. You know, obviously you get a instruction manual, just read it, figure it out or whatever, but it's really easy to clean. I usually have to, I don't know, anybody who has this, it took me a while. I was like, why does this stink so much? You got to remove this and clean this. You got to remove that, dump the water out. But it's really easy. This little pot, you just take it out, clean it. I make a ton of stuff in here, guys. I am a huge soup person. I love soup. Again, it's another easy way to get your vegetables in your diet. So if you have a smoothie in the morning packed with tons of nutrition, and those of us with gut health issues, you know, a smoothie can be a great way just to break those down. There's a lot of fruits and vegetables I have a hard time digesting. If I put it in a juice, if I put it in a smoothie, or if I put it in a soup, way, way easier on my gut. So yeah, I do soups. You can do chilies. You can do chicken, or even like a small roast you can put in there. Potatoes. That's another thing that you can do. People will, you know, instead of using the oven, they might use their Instapot. So there's definitely a couple different sizes. You know, if you're a single person versus a family, you may not need such a large one like I have. So, but that's a great purchase too. I love my Instapot. Okay, what else? So this is a veggie sheet cutter. So one of the things that you guys have probably seen in the grocery store, maybe done yourself, is a spiralizer for like zucchini. So zucchini spirals or sweet potato spirals. This little piece here, this is a mixer, just your standard mixer, like when you're gonna bake a cake. I used to use this, or I usually pull it out like once a year for Christmas cookies. It's usually what I use it for. But this little piece you buy separately, and it comes with two different, you can make a little thin or a thick items. So say you're taking zucchini and you want to do a zucchini wrap. So instead of, you know, you're trying to maybe cut down on using so many carbs or breads and grains, and you want to take zucchini and you want to maybe make a tortilla like option. You can use this and it makes it so beautiful. I'll make a video on just doing that as well on here, but you can then roll up your vegetables in there. It's awesome. The other thing you can do is if you want to, you know, core an apple, spiralize an apple, you want to do that with your potatoes, you can do that, you know, peel it like that. So this little piece comes out here, and then you stick your fruit in and turn it on. You just plug it in, turn it on, and then it goes. And then these little pieces come right off. So this is, you know, for a thicker vegetable, and this is for a thinner one. So we have, you know, there's all different things you can make with it. I mean, I think nowadays, I know for me, I don't do the standard pasta for myself. My children love it, but I don't do it for myself because of my SIBO and my gut issues. So having this as an option is really nice, and it actually was just easier for me than using the spiralizer. Some of the spiralizers I got, maybe I just didn't get good ones, but the ones that I got I didn't like. This makes it easier for me. Easy cleanup, remember, I like easy. So that is a vegetable sheet cutter that you just add to your standard mixer. This mixer is, what is this, a KitchenAid. This is a KitchenAid mixer. It's got like 10 different speeds on it. I mean, the thing is awesome, especially if you're making cookies and stuff like that, but great with this little addition. All right, so some of my smaller items, I did all the big items. Some of my smaller items I have, this right here is a mandolin grater. I love this. It also will help to store in here as well, because it has a little piece, I don't think I have it on here, that covers this. You could stick it in your refrigerator. So say you were making coleslaw and you shred everything in there and you only wanted a small little bit. You were the only one eating it. That happens in my household all the time. So then you can just take this and stick it in your refrigerator. And it gives you even like 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, which is really nice. So, and I think this is KitchenAid. I'm not even sure which one this is, but it has a couple, it comes with 4 different pieces. So this is the way you would hold, say, your vegetable. So say I had cucumber on here, and then I could take that and just grate it on there. Sorry about that. The other thing is it's got coarse and fine little pieces. Love that. So you want to get one of these. These are easy. It's got a julienne grater, and then it's got a slicer. So, you know, your julienne grater for your salads, if you like your carrots cut up nice and small and shredded. And then it's got a slicer if you wanted to make, like, I love cucumber, just slices like that. And so instead of having to like use your knife, or if you want to make a bunch of them, super easy. So get one of these mandolin graters. These are great. I love them. All right, what else? All right, this is the chopper. This is a salad chopper. I I came home with this. My husband was like, why do you keep buying kitchen tools? Because I like to make my life easy. So I love going to like a salad place where they put everything together in the big silver bowl, and then they just go to town, they just chop it up. I was like, where do I get one of those? I need one. So that's what this does. It's literally, you just press down on it and it chops the salad up. So super easy, it's just a salad chopper. This is a tea infuser. So, as you can see, kind of opens and closes. You take your loose tea and you put some in there, and then you can stick it in your mug. So, when I went for radiation, I had this doctor, and every time we met together, he had his tea infuser in his tea. One day he was talking about how he had gone to China, and he had gone through a tea factory, and he said that while he was there, that the man said, yes, this is where we make the tea bags. And it was just all these leaves on the floor, he said. He said, at that point, I never wanted a tea bag again. The other thing I learned about it is how much healthier it is, because the leaves have room to breathe. So when you buy a loose tea leaf, like loose tea leaves, and you put it in here, they have oxygen. And think of a leaf outside. They need oxygen and sunlight and all of that in order to thrive. So when you're stuffing it in that little tiny bag, it doesn't give it a lot of room to breathe. So sometimes that's where you find your teas taste bitter. They just don't taste as flavorful. This is a great option for that problem. So that'll solve your problem, and it's a lot healthier too. Think of it. Do you really want the scraps from the floor? Okay, pineapple cutter. So if you are a pineapple person, and I love pineapple, you can use this. You actually can stick it in there, and then you just wind it, and it will pull that core right out, and boom, you can just take your pineapple then and just slice it. So then that brings me to having a good sharp knife. Whatever brand that is for you, but having a good sharp knife is important. For years I used really dull knives, and I always wondered why I hated cooking. Get a sharp knife, really important. You probably don't necessarily need this one, but this is a watermelon knife. And as you can see, it's got the holes for the seeds, so I kind of think it's fun. If you buy watermelons that have seeds in it, especially if you go to a farmer's market, it's gonna have the seeds in them. So I like that because it kind of de-seeds it for me. Again, I'm totally lazy. This is why I need this. All right, apple core cutter. Obviously that gets rid of the core. I'm sure some of you have seen this, love this. Melon baller. Okay, I have a couple different sizes. This is just one. But I love stuff like this for like cantaloupe. My kids and I will take Cocoa Whip or True Whip. They like True Whip because they don't like Cocoa Whip because of the coconut taste. But I will take that and put it in a bowl and take some cantaloupe and just scoop it out. And it's just like these tiny little, cantaloupe bowls. It's so much more fun in your mouth rather than having to cut up and all the pieces are sharp and, choppy and stuff like that. So get a melon baller, they're awesome. Why do you need an avocado cutter? Well, those of us probably for years just did the thing where we had no clue how to cut it, and then it was like, oh, we cut all around it. Well, this thing has this little, it's like a little knife, a little sharp edge here. You can literally slice that avocado. This is a de-seeder. You're gonna just stick the seed in there and pull it right out. So that's what's great. And then if you want really pretty slices, you just place that in your avocado, and boom, you have these beautiful slices that you can lay on your salad after you grate it with your mandolin grater. All right, so get one of these, they're great. What else didn't I show you? Last and not least, this is one of my favorites, and in fact, my lime one broke. I have a lemon one and a lime. This is my lemon one. It's a lemon squeezer. So you take your lemon, you cut it in half, you put it inside of here, and literally you just take it and you squeeze, all the juice comes out. I mean, literally, you will just suck all the juice out of it with this thing. This is the best thing. Instead of trying to like squeeze it, get a lemon squeezer. It's definitely a must do. There is a lime one as well. They kind of work the same, but mine broke, so I can't show you that one. The last thing I wanted to show you guys is it's really important to have a variety of different storage containers. So I generally go with Pyrex. I like Pyrex a lot. You can put these in the oven as well. You want to get different sizes, smaller ones, larger ones. There's even larger ones I have. I didn't bring them all out. Circular shapes, oval. So that way, if you are meal prepping, then you have these nice containers ready for you. These ones I think are great. They have these little baskets in them. I just bought these at my local grocery store, and you can put your strawberries, your blueberries, your blackberries in here. Gives them a little more air than if they're in that plastic container. I find that they stay better in here. So I have a couple different ones of those, and it comes with a top that you can put on it. I also will put my hard-boiled eggs in here a lot of times, and that way I kind of just stick them in the refrigerator. So I hope this was really helpful. I know that a lot of clients ask me what are some things that they can get in their kitchen. Well guys, that's it. I hope this really helps you know what are some quick and easy kitchen items that you could purchase. Most of these things you can get at your local Walmart and Target and probably even your grocery store. Amazon is one of my favorites because then I don't have to go anywhere. I can just order it. So below I'm going to put my website if you're interested in some of the nutrition programs I have to offer. I have a women's online fitness and nutrition program, and I also do free nutrition consults. So if you're interested in just having a conversation, you want to learn more about my experience with healing my gut health, go check out Tracy's Got Guts. It's one of my playlists, and it shares my experience on how I began healing my SIBO. My website is below. It's www.mosaicfitnut.com. Give me a thumbs up. I'd love to have your feedback, what kind of videos you would be interested in seeing, and just be looking for more. Have a great day, and I hope that this helps you change the mirror from the inside out.